Coach Brian here. Want to welcome you to my guide of how I would actually work with you and guide you to better health, better nutrition, better fitness. I have this PDF I created a slide deck out of and wanted to show you this presentation. Achieve your ideal body, a visual guide to your health. I wanted it to be visually easy to follow along with and understand. Therefore, you can take action and start making progress for yourself. Let's dive in. I'm Coach Brian, and what my goal is and has been for over 20 years now is helping people achieve their health goals. I've worked with young, old, healthy, sick, chronically ill, know a lot about nutrition, don't know any at all, or other things related to their health. Focusing on lifestyle behavior changes, that's what's going to make the biggest impact for you to have lasting success. And that's what I'm here to do, is help you figure this out. So what we do, number one, is understand what your inspiration is. Why do you want to do something, improving your health? I spent a lot of time with leaders, CEOs, entrepreneurs. Their goal is to have vision for the companies that they work for, to elevate it and take it to a higher level. That's critically important. What I know doing this and working with those type of individuals for a long time, it doesn't just happen if you aren't focused on what the underlying vision is for yourself. Now, you can obviously download this PDF and follow along. That would be the best way to do this. And what this page is about doing the thing, digging deep to help you understand why you're going to work to accomplish your goal as is. Now, we have next up is setting SMART goals. Specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and time-bound. Certainly we've seen this time and again. But once you understand what your goals are, where you're headed, you are significantly more likely to accomplish it. So writing it down is incredibly important. That is where the rubber meets the road. Getting out of your head, getting it onto paper, or even a situation that I do is work with people to help create accountability and support to accomplish that. Let's break these down. Specific. It can't be, I want to look better, feel better. That's never going to get you to action the way you need to. It has to be directly tied into a result that's specific. Looking amazing in clothing as you present to a large group, that would be a really good goal. Another one would be making sure that you don't overeat and understand how to jump into social settings. Every time that you do, it doesn't distract you from your actual progress as well. Measurable. Certainly the easiest one to think with measurable goals with my work is spent around body weight. The scale, clothing, circumference measurements, pictures. Those can be very tangible, relatable, and measurable. Something has to be attainable. We have to break it down into a time frame in which you're able to actually produce the results. Having too much time, you will procrastinate and not take action. Having too little time can impart too much stress into your life. That's not what we're going for here. The main purpose that I have is sustainable lifestyle processes, habits, behaviors, routines that make the goals a byproduct of the success that we're having. It's got to be relevant to you. It has to matter. It has to be relevant. An idea would be, again, showing up to a conference, to a meeting, looking professional, feeling confident, and exuding that energy. Everyone in the room is going to know that you've got the goods, that you can convey your message even better and get it to land because you have this confidence about your body. Time bound, again, has to be a specific deadline. If you give yourself 2 weeks to do something, you will allow it 2 weeks to get it handled. If you do it in, say, a work task, If you have a work task that needs to be done end of day, that expedites the process even faster and you get better results. All right, here's some questions you ask yourself to set up a strong, smart goal. What am I uncomfortable with and frustrated about my life that I want to change? A very direct question that goes a couple layers deeper in the onion, so to speak, to find the answer that's going to really start to motivate you. I'm frustrated by this because the more reasons you can attach to the underlying question or purpose of why you're doing something, the stronger your resolve will be to do it. If I can change these about myself, I would feel, what does confidence actually mean to you in your workplace, or how does being a leader in your family when it comes to being healthy reflect in the people around you? Number 4, changing my current state will then allow me to, what are the opportunities that come as a result of you taking action, you improving your state of being in your mindset on why you do it? Number 5, what's the cost of not accomplishing this? This is very important because if you understand, the example could be, I work with people with type 2 diabetes. If they don't get their A1C levels down or don't manage their nutrition to better balance out their blood sugar levels, they are going to have significantly more health complications as they go. If you're busy in the workplace, you're skipping meals, you're eating fast food or eating whatever's brought into the office, you're likely to set yourself up for unhealthy issues with your body later on. We don't want that. Number 6, my reward for accomplishing this will be, in general, non-related food would be great. I'm going to lose 30 pounds by this time, and I'm going to go to a wedding. I'm going to vacation. I am getting a material object. We are driven that way. It's very tangible for humans to want things. If you are in complete control of your nutrition and understanding it to the depths, then maybe you could do a more food-related reward. For me, if I'm doing a good job in business, I like to celebrate with sushi. That's something that I don't eat a lot of. I enjoy immensely. It's a great reason to go celebrate a great food. But that's because I am in control of myself and my decisions around that. Deadlines are critically important to accomplishing goals. Implementing the plan of action will make the results happen. I will accomplish this by. So setting a specific time goal will be really important there. All right, moving on. Everyone desires to reach their goals. What separates ones who actually accomplish the task from the ones who don't is being held accountable to the goals. Whether it's having a coach, personal accountability buddy, or just find someone who you know will help hold you to what you say. We usually don't want this to be a spouse. That's not a good idea. We want the spouse or partners to be in the loving category relationship. Sometimes you can have friends do that, but you need to make sure you understand the friend's resolve to help hold you through it. And we don't want them to have to adapt this persona that ultimately creates friction in your relationship with them. That's not good either. That's where getting a third party comes into play. A coach, this is what I do for people. I help people do the things they say they're going to do and follow through with it. It works wonders that way. All right. Now, what we have is exercise. Certainly we need to move. I'm a big fan of 10K steps a day. So if you have a step tracker, that's a good, easy visual. What I have on this page is a number of different body weight workouts that you can do anywhere. It's very simple. And the workout is, if you were to do all those one time through working 45 seconds with 15-second rest, do 2 times if you wanted it to be a bit more challenge, or maybe even 3, that would be a really good workout. So check that out for a solid workout approach that you can do anywhere, and that's the point. Now, I want to commend you and impart this into you. Don't wait. The time is now to start today. You only get results by taking action. A lot of people complain about the lack of results that they're not getting from not doing the work. Let's do the work. Motivation comes after you start moving. Motivation, I love this example. Oftentimes people don't go to work and show up on time and do all the things that they're supposed to do because they're highly motivated to do that. So then you have people who love their jobs, but ultimately we're humans, and if given the chance for a day off, we'd probably take a day off at the amusement park or spending time with people. That would be a really good, fun thing for us to do. But waiting is the worst thing that you can do. You don't want to wait till those cliche, I'm going to start on Monday, I'm going to wait till January, New Year's resolutions, whatnot. You can actually decide to change now. Now, moving into another exercise-related activity here. This is a hit. This is a really good way. I always say, number one, if you have more time, you can walk and move that way to get steps and activities and calories burned. If you have less time, something like this HIIT workout could be a really good example for you. High intensity interval training is what it is. It's basically doing a circuit. This one has any way to do it, from running, jumping rope, stairs, elliptical, bicycling. You could do body weight cardio type exercises, but you're going to set up a routine of doing something for 30 seconds hard, 30 seconds easy. So run, sprint for 30 seconds, jog or walk for 30 seconds as an example. That will get you a lot of calories burned in a little bit of time. All right, let's dive into what is it that you want to look like. So we have different ranges where you might be able to identify where you're at right now. Now this is what this is. For men, if you're under 10 to 20%, you live a very active, healthy lifestyle. You're a very fit person. And as we go up the list here, a typical average male is going to be in the 11 to 20%, or women in the 20s themselves. Women just naturally have more adipose tissue based on biology. It's just the way it is. Women in very peak performance are going to be 15%. They're going to look incredibly lean and defined. Then we get into more unhealthy situations, sitting more than they move, or exercise or move very little at all. That would be more of the obese category. So obviously, as we go through this, we know the benefits of being super fit. You look really good. You generally probably feel good. You're capable. And then it generally slides back there. A normal, healthy person is able to enjoy exercise. They move regularly. It is still a priority in their life to have activity. And then as we get into the higher body fat ranges, you're not moving as much or little at all. And generally the healthier you are at the beginning toward the unhealthy and more poor health you're going to start to see in the lower ends. Now, what do they do? These are the characteristics of what they do the most. So if we see this, eat slowly, they're conscious of their calories, they eat protein-dense food, lots of vegetables, healthy fats. They are conscious of their carbohydrates. They're exercising most days and getting a good amount of sleep. As we slide down that toward the overweight, obese category, you're still eating healthy foods. It's just the focus starts to allow more eating out or more snacking or larger meal sizes or something. Those things start to creep in. As we get into the unhealthier, you're eating faster, you're not paying attention, you're unplanned. People who look good, feel good are generally more planned and in control of their food overall. That's something that I do. I try to simplify my food as easy as I can. It doesn't take me a lot of time to prepare it. I'm not eating chicken, broccoli, and rice on repeat. I'm not eating out of Tupperware containers. I can have enjoyable meals. I just have a system around how I do it. And we get to the very end, you're eating a lot of high calorie foods, calorie beverages, you're not sleeping, and you're generally probably living a life on screens as well, or overly consumed with certain activities, working too much, or others. Now, what do they do less? They limit their carbs, they focus on eating around their workouts, the lean, in shape people are managing sweets and treats and beverages, and it slides down to the other end of the spectrum. You're not moving at all. There's just not a lot of focus on your health at all. This is the ultimate guide on portion control. We have 3 areas that we're looking at. We have movement, we have portion control, which we're going over now, and food choice we'll be going over in the future. It's broken down to those 3 simple pieces of being. If you can get those right, you move enough, you practice portion control around the foods that you eat, you will have success one way or another. We use the hand method. This is a really easy way to expedite this. A palm of protein, a fist of vegetables, a cupped hand of carbs, a thumb of fat. And here's some general guidances. I see men having a lot of success losing weight, generally under 1,800 calories. If they are active, they could eat a bit more. My goal is to always get people to eat as much food as they can, but it has to correlate to actual progress if weight loss is our goal. Women can generally do under 1,500. They're generally more of a weight loss category. Weight maintenance is more like 2,000. And if you're a very active male, you can eat more than that. And women around 1,800, 2,000, depending on your activities. All right. So that is one of the main things, is practicing portion control. So you might need more food if you're larger in stature, aren't feeling satisfied at meals. I would focus on eating heavier vegetables. Eat less frequently throughout the day, say 3 meals in a day. I always like people to eat at least 3 meals a day rather than eating like 5 or 6. There's just too much opportunity for you to get extra calories in. If you're very active, trying to gain weight, or aren't getting muscle gaining results, then you need to eat more, obviously. You need to eat less food if you're smaller in stature, or too full after your meals, or eating frequently throughout the day. 5-6 meals would result in naturally lower calories. You take your overall calorie intake of the day, divide that by the number of meals that you eat, that gives you an average amount of food you should be eating at a meal. And in your mind, most women are going to go anywhere from 300 to 500 calories per meal. Most men are anywhere from 400 to 600 on average. All right. Building your ideal meal. Very simple process. These are portions and gram counts that could work for a protein. Generally, lean protein sources of lean meats, chicken, lean beef. We have fish, eggs, cottage cheese, Greek yogurt. We could even do lean cuts of pork, ham. Deli ham is very lean. Next up we have vegetables. Always can pile vegetables pretty high. And for even women, you could have 2 fist servings as well. A cup of broccoli is only 30 calories. A tomato is 40 calories. Cucumber is 40 calories. A pepper is 35, generally speaking. You can eat a lot of those and fill up on those type of foods. And that's what you want to get into your mind. You always want to limit the grains or starches, the beans, even fruit. I like to have 1 to maybe 2 servings of fruit in a day for clients. That's a good, quote, dessert-like type food to eat and enjoy. But as you see, we're starting to build a pretty balanced meal. Now, whether you actually put fat in or not, that would be up to you depending on your calorie goals. Fat is very calorie dense. It has 9 calories per gram of fat. Protein and carbs have 4 calories per gram. So what that means is you want to make sure you limit your fat and not overeat. A quarter cup of nuts is 100 calories. A slice of cheese is 100 calories. A tab of butter is 100 calories. a tablespoon of oil is 120 calories. That adds up pretty darn quick and multiplies your plate. So what do we eat? Well, certainly green is good. We want lots of these higher fiber foods. Two questions that I always pose when it comes to picking food sources to help even quantify this. We're looking for this question first, where's the protein? Second question, where's the fiber? By thinking of those two questions, that is what I would be most interested in thinking and framing the food choices that you pick. Here's some good protein sources that we would want. Ideal, even to acceptable, is perfectly fine. It just depends on the level of quality that you are personally interested, your budget as well. I have 6 people in my family, 4 kids. My wife and I, we're going to go to the good to acceptable range. I can't spend $15 a pound on fish. That's when I can spend $2 to $3 a pound on chicken. That's a significant difference in the way I can feed my family and keep them healthy as well. Even though I'd love to eat more fish, sometimes it's cost preventative and I need to plan it into specific meals. Fats. We always want to have good healthy fat sources as we go. We're going to spare using them anyways. So obviously these are things, whether it's what not to eat or eat in very limited quantities. Certainly processed and preserved foods, things like sausages, preserved meats, jerkies. Jerky could be a really good way for traveling and having food on the go. But if that's one of your go-tos, and if you didn't check the label, it may have a lot of sugar in it, you wouldn't realize. Canned foods in general, they just have a lot more sodium, and that's the general emphasis. So carbohydrates, these are most importantly not necessarily not what to eat, but definitely in a portion-sized amount. Obviously, we know rice, bread, pasta, potatoes, corn, those are really good starchy carbs to have, but we'd want to have a cup full or a palm of your hand for that. That would be the most productive process there. Things, of course, chips, potato chips, any chips, generally about 10 calories per chip. That's not the worst thing ever, but it does add up pretty quickly and costs you a lot of calories. So does drinking alcohol. Sugars, of course, we want to avoid sugars. Doing artificial sweeteners, there's lots of research out there, a little bit more nowadays, where it's not as negative as it was once thought of. Certainly something we'd want to reduce, but if it's an artificially sweetened beverage is going to spare you 150 calories and 40 grams of sugar, comparing Coke Zero to regular Coca-Cola, I'm always going to suggest the Coke Zero because you're literally saving the calories. So what to eat sparingly? Dairy, legumes, sometimes wheat-based gluten, those can be natural irritants to humans. We just want to watch those out in what we do. Caffeine, humans can do up to 400 milligrams a day. If you are leaning on caffeine to fuel your body and push you through and stimulate yourself through the day, that's a clear sign you're not rested, you're not making good food choices, and ultimately you're stimulating yourself in an unproductive way for you to maintain. Having key times in the day where you have caffeine. I personally have gotten in the habit of delaying my caffeine consumption. I'll get up, I'll have an electrolyte style beverage in the morning to start my day with water, and about anywhere from 10 to noon I'll have coffee. A half-life of coffee is anywhere from 6 to 8 hours. If I have it around noon, that will finally wear off by 8-ish, 6, 8 p.m., allowing me to come off of that. I'm not having coffee at 2, and it totally rolls me into 12 a.m., to midnight. All right, some top fitness facts, what people are asking me a lot. What is the best way to lose fat? Well, there's not really necessarily any one way to do it. Everyone responds differently. But what's important is knowing there's a formula I teach my clients. I move this much, I eat this much, this is what my body does. By thinking of it that way, this allows you to be able to intuitively understand how much do I need to move and have that aligned with how many calories I should be eating. We want to, if your goal is to lose weight, you're going to want to obviously be in a calorie deficit, eating good protein, lean protein sources, lots of vegetables, some fruit, consciously portion control your carbs, and monitoring overall fat intake. That's the best way to do it. Getting your 10K steps in, and if you worked out 3 days a week for the rest of your life, you're going to be a very fit, exercised person, and that would be a good idea for you to do. Another question I get all the time, if I lift weights, especially from women, will I get bigger if I lift weights? The genetics certainly play into this, but even more the environment. How many calories you're eating? Are you in a subtle calorie surplus? Next question, are you training hard enough? Are you actually in the gym lifting weights to clearly break down muscle and build up the body? That in and of itself. Then just hormones. Men obviously have testosterone, and it's a lot easier for men to build muscle more than women. So if you're a lady listening to this, your ability to build muscle, especially the older you get, reduces quite a bit. We all know by the time you're 70, you aren't the most strongest, physically fit, active person anymore. At that point, you want to be as strong as you can. I always encourage people to try to get as strong. All right, how do I get a flat stomach? Well, abs, they say they're made in the kitchen. I love to edit this. Abs are created in the gym. Building the actual muscle itself is created in the gym. To burn the body fat around your abs is in the kitchen. So you can build them in the gym, reveal them from the kitchen, and how you do that. If you have stubborn belly fat, that just means you have to be in a calorie deficit longer. Back in the day, you call that dieting for a longer time or cutting as well. But ultimately, it's maintaining lower calories the longer you go. If I stop my physical activity, will my muscles turn into fat? That's impossible. Muscle tissue is muscle tissue. It's not fat tissue. If you stop working out, there is possibility that if you don't use it, you lose it. Your muscles may start to atrophy and shrink, whereas we want to keep building them up and turning them into just strong, metabolically active tissues. I love encouraging people to do muscle building activities, some form of strength training, one way or another. But short answer in this question is no. You can gain weight while working out, or you can work out and not lose weight. What that implies is you're still not in a calorie deficit. That doesn't necessarily mean you're turning fat into muscle. They're two different tissues in the body. So bridging the gap. One thing we all know, books and information are great, but Google can be very overwhelming. Analysis paralysis is a real thing. If you overanalyze and you have too many options, there's never a priority in which one way you take to get the results. So it's the knowing and doing gap that needs closed. So understanding the information, science-backed information applied to your everyday life to create the results that you're after. So what do you do next? Well, you got to take action. Remember, you can't wait for motivation to come along and get you going. That's not a good way to go about this. We need to focus on taking action around strong goals, doubling down on the information in this video and PDF, getting a coach, whether it's me or someone else. That would be a really good. Finding other solutions in the marketplace, i.e. Beachbody or personal trainers or group exercise classes, Orange Theory, CrossFit, boot camps, fitness classes at the YMCA. Those are all ways to get moving and make it easier. I'll also tell you, do it now and do it today. Listening to this, just really means that you are interested in taking the action steps of changing your health, changing your body, your nutrition, most importantly, so you are a person on fire, living with purpose, desires, having a strong mindset that exudes confidence in how they show up in the world. Especially if you're an entrepreneur, business leader, you need to stand tall. There's so much going on. You have to have that pose of confidence, especially with people around you that are looking for you to guide them. Now, if you think I can help you by consuming my content, by consuming this and going through all my socials, I'd love to talk to you for 15 to 30 minutes. And it's really just about making sure, one, you need help, that two, that we would be a good fit together, and three, that I can ask and answer all the questions that you and I both need to make it clear. Now, ultimately, I'd love to talk to you for a breakthrough fitness and nutrition conversation. Ultimately, it's about adding value first. It's not a way to pitch or offer something if it doesn't make sense. I always will point people in other directions if it makes sense. There's my there's my phone number there, my website. You're obviously on. Would love to talk to you. If you wanted to set it up, you can just direct text me. That's the fastest, easiest way. Also, in closing, would love if you share this booklet if you found value in it. And through this video, you can definitely share it with other people. These are some of the ways that I go about helping people build a meal plan, understand nutrition deeper, how to go to grocery store and actually leave there with food you want to eat and not spend too much, better timing of your meals, how to make this easier amongst the busyness of your everyday life. That's critically important too. That's my job. Come in, expedite this process, and what is the next best step for you to take action and implement on. So I'm Coach Brian. Would love to talk with you. And this is really who I am. I'm just a person that wants to serve. I've been doing this in some form and fashion since 2001. I have an exercise degree, and this is literally the only thing I've done in my life as we go. So I want to thank you so much. I hope you found a lot of value. Please feel free to comment, send me an email, text me, comment on the social media, like my info, follow it, subscribe. All those things I would totally appreciate with. I really appreciate your time today. Thank you so much.